Hi, this is Misha, and it seemed like it was probably time to do kind of a video specifically looking at this rifle here. This is the Bulgarian Arsenal SAS M-7 Classic. Now, I've shown this gun in other videos when we talked about the history of Arsenal, so for more of a detail on that, check out that video. But I wanted to talk about this gun a wee bit and compare it to some of the other milled Arsenals, because I keep getting the same questions about how this is similar and different from other guns. So first we're going to compare it to an Arsenal SAM-7R, which is their modern gun, and then we'll compare it to a Type 3 original. The Classic, as the name states, is their take on the classic Russian pattern AK Type 3. We have a milled receiver, 16-inch cold hammer forged chrome lined barrel. This has the heavier profile, first seen with the AK47 AK Type 3. We have 14mm threads with a muzzle nut. We have the Type 1 bayonet lug under the front sight. We have just a simple loop under the gas block. We have the sling swivel on the gas block. We have a ported gas tube, and we have a non-ported gas block that's 45 degrees. We have a pretty standard upper handguard. We have the milled style slab side lower. We have an 800-meter rear sight, smooth heavy-duty top cover. We also have a non-lightning cut bolt and carrier. And we have the original style of underfolding stock that has the detent for the butt plate, and it only locks on the left side, unlike the later AKM stocks. It also has a tubular shape to it, and it's more downswept. This is Arsenal's take on a classic gun. They've been offering these quite a long time. They started offering around 2002, 2003, before the end of the assault weapons ban. They would do a fixed stock version, and they would do an underfolding version with a pinned open stock. Most they have sold had wood furniture, blonde wood, but they did do a small run with this Bakelite style. Now, of course, this one is not one of those. I installed it. This is Bulgarian Bakelite. These would be assembled in the USA from all new virgin parts. The barrel is Bulgarian. The receiver is actually an 80% forging imported from Bulgaria and then finished out here. Almost all of your other parts are Bulgarian. The only US parts are the trigger group and the muzzle nut. So the bolt group, top cover, handguards, pistol grip, that can all be foreign. It can also take foreign mags, and it does. It takes standard mags. And these have been offered and have been very popular. While not cheap, they are very smooth. They come with very nice double hook milled triggers. And they're well done guns. The fixed stock has been out of production for 10 years now, but they still do small batches of the underfolder, probably because that's just what they have parts. So I wanted to mention this because people often ask how this differs from, for example, the current SAS M-7 UF, which is the underfolding version. Unfortunately, I don't have a SAM-7 UF anymore. I actually sold it when I picked up this gun, but I do have the SAM-7R, which is virtually the same gun except with a fixed stock. Now, whereas the Classic is patterned after the AK Type 3, the SAM-7 series is patterned after the more modern AR M1 series. Now, these are true imports. They're built over in Bulgaria, imported with thumbhole stocks, and then put into military configuration here in the US by Arsenal. We still have a 16-inch chrome-lined cold hammer forged barrel, but we have the lighter AKM profile. We're still threaded 14 mil, but these usually come with either a 4-piece brake or this shark gill brake. We do not have the bayonet lug under the sight base. Instead, we have an AKM style under the gas block. The gas block is 90 degree, no sling swivel, and it has ports on the block, not on the tube. Now there's really, on the 7.62 guns such as these, there's no real benefit to going to 90 degree over 45. It's just a cosmetic thing. Most people like the 45 when they're going for a classic. We have the AKM style or AK-74 style handguard rotator with the sling swivel on it. These come with various handguards. These are AR M9 handguards. These can come with standard black. Now the top cover is still the same. The milled receiver is essentially the same, but now we have a scope rail. This has the top and bottom tang as you'd find on a milled gun. And the trigger group and all that is the same. So really the major difference is the barrel assembly. The Classic will have the AK Type 3 with the heavier barrel and 45 degree gas block. And the newer ones will have the AKM profile. Also, if you had the fixed stocked Classic, it would have the sling swivel in the rear of the receiver. The SAM series will have it on the stock here. More modern AKM pattern. So those are really the big differences, with this being an import, this being US assembled. But really they're all the same as far as the parts. Some people think that the Classics and other guns assembled here are a little nicer. They do tend to have a little bit better fit and finish because they're more hand assembled, whereas the SAM-7 series are assembly line. But then again, the Classics and other US assembled ones cost more money. Now these both have pressed and pinned in barrel, and they have a paint over parkerized finish. This is actually something that Bulgaria went to, whereas Russia and most everyone else in the communist bloc, the Warsaw Pact, went to the AKM in the 60s. Bulgaria did not. They went straight from the milled AK to the AK-74, and what they did with their 7.62 guns, they would kind of update them and streamline the mass production, adopting a few AKM changes. They would go to the pressed and pin barrel as opposed to the screw in. They would quit bluing them. They would go to the more AKM style finish. And as I said, they went to more of synthetic furniture, but also keeping many of the original Type 3 features and profiles. So it's kind of interesting. It wasn't until the 90s with the introduction of the AR M1 series that they would start introducing the more modern features were actually taken from their AK-74 line, because they never made the AKM. When they went to the lighter profile and all that, they were more borrowing from the AK-74. So that's quite interesting, I think. So yeah, that is the difference. Shooting wise, they're both very nice. I brought out some bayonets here. This is the original Type 1 bayonet that fits on the front sight base. It's a long, thin blade. Then I brought out a modern Bulgarian style. This is AKM AK-74 style. It's a shorter blade. Also has a serrated edge and can double as a wire cutter. Kind of interesting. So yeah. Typically, these both ship with a sling, cleaning kit, and oil bottle. The Classic will ship with one 30-round Circle 10 waffle mag, and the SAM-7, be it the R, the UF, or the SF, typically ships with one 10-round synthetic mag. And again, mine is in AR M9 furniture, but they do show a version on their website like that. Alright, we'll move on. So that was kind of comparing to the modern milled. Figured while we're at it, we'll briefly look at a more original AK Type 3. This gun appears in a lot of my videos because it's actually one of my favorites. This is my Hungarian AK-55 semi-auto. This was assembled by MSC several years back using an original Hungarian Type 3 kit on another Bulgarian receiver. So the receivers are going to be the same, which means this is still a press and pin barrel, but everything else is original Hungarian from the 50s production. So we can kind of look at this versus the Classic, and they compare very favorably. The barrel is the same profile, same bayonet lug up here, same muzzle nut, same style of gas block, same slab handguards. Of course, these are wood, not Bakelite. 800-meter rear sight, smooth top cover. This is the original stock. You'll see the sling swivels on the receiver in the back for the fixed stock. If the Classic was a fixed stock, it would have it in the same location. We have the same non-lightning cut bolt group. The standard Classic pistol grip is very similar to this, wide checkered style. There are just a few little small differences. For one, this has the original style of smooth without a lip on the top takedown latch. The Classic, on the other hand, has the little lip here with the indentation in the middle, dimple in the middle. This also has the newer style stamped mag catch with the dimple, whereas this has the original thicker milled mag catch. And that's about the only place you will find many differences. The small little parts can be a little bit different just because they were produced back then. But to be fair to the Classic, even quite a few of the Bulgarian military guns from the 80s would have some of the newer style of parts as they were trying to speed up and make the mass production more efficient for modern manufacturing techniques. If you'd like to know more about this style, the SLR100H, we have a number of videos featuring this gun, even talking specifically about how these came to be. So if that interests you, please check those out. I don't want to repeat myself here today because this isn't about this one. I just thought we'd bring it out since it was close to hand to compare it to this Classic. But yeah, this is a nice gun if you're wanting a Classic underfolder style, very close to Russian spec and very, very close to Bulgarian late production military spec. And these are, of course, band-free versions with all the features. They also shoot very nicely. They're technically US kit guns, but since they're assembled by Arsenal Incorporated, Las Vegas, under license, under contract from Arsenal AD Bulgaria, and since all the parts are original Bulgarian, they're really close. They're not assembled from surplus kits and such. These are, one time they were about $2,000, but they've actually dropped a little bit. They're more in the $1,700–1,800 range new, and you can usually find the underfolders used for a little less. Now the fixed stock, since they haven't been in production for a decade, do tend to bring a little more because most people like to shoot the fixed stock guns. If you get one, just make sure it's a post band, or I should say a post assault weapons band version, or if you get a band style version, that's fine. Just know what you're getting and use that as a negotiating point. I've always had a thing for the milled series, and we have lots of videos on them. So yeah, check them out. They're really interesting, really neat, and there's quite a few little differences between a milled gun and a later stamped. One question I get asked often, in fact we had it in a recent Q&A, was about the furniture. On a fixed stock gun, the milled stock and the milled lower handguard are specific to milled. Now the pistol grip in the upper handguard can be interchanged with an AKM and even AK-74. But if you have a milled gun with the top and lower tang, definitely look for that. And if you'd like to know more about some of the other Bulgarians, such as the SA-93, SLR-95, SLR-101, yeah, click on our video. We've got quite a comprehensive two-part series on the history of Arsenal Incorporated, Las Vegas. We also have a series on the history of Arsenal USA, later Armory USA, Global Trades, and that's where this gun sort of came from, although this was actually an inner arms, and that's kind of all part of that story. So I hope you appreciated and enjoyed this video. We always like making these. It's always fun. If you like, please click like, and if you'd like to help support us, please click on the link and check out our Patreon page. This is Misha. If I can get it here. I guess it's good these are stiff, huh? Haven't really folded this one up much. There we go. This is Misha, and we'll catch you next time.